All right, welcome back to the Coach Mac Show. Had a big week last Friday night, Coach. Tore up Seminole County.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we talked earlier last week about when you get ready to play somebody you haven't seen play teams that you've played, you really don't know a lot about them. Seminole County came into the game with the number 1 seed in the state.
Yeah.
Again, that was set up on points because they went undefeated. And but I guess I don't know who they really played looking back at it. But again, they had enough points to be the number 1 seed.
Right.
We got over there and we prepared all week long. And on film, it was kind of puzzling to me because I saw an offense that was really extremely simple to prepare for. It wasn't a lot to it as far as it was just a real basic option game. We knew they didn't throw the ball well. We knew we just had to load up on the fullback to the quarterback to pitch. They did pitch the ball more than option teams in the past we've played, but again, preparing for them, we felt like if we play assignment football and play it fast, that we had a good chance to slow them down. Offensively, again, we saw a couple spots that we were concerned about. Their defensive ends, their secondary, we thought could be pretty good, and we had made some adjustments to our running game. Coach Murray made some adjustments to the way we were going to block them. We made several adjustments to the way we were going to run our tracks on our run game with our running back. Our points of attack really was different by the way they set up compared to a week ago. And you might have noticed that because Andrew Lee a week ago or a game ago against Commerce was hitting everything to the outside for long runs. And then this week we changed up our blocking scheme and we changed his point of attack and went straight ahead at him, which left those ends out there, and they weren't a real problem for us. So, again, it was some adjustments throughout the week. Not a lot of adjustments were needed at halftime, but throughout the week made some adjustments. And offensively, we did good. Defensively, we did good. And 41-0 later, I'm not sure that's your number 1 seed. I really don't think it was. They thought they were, I guess, going over there. When we arrived, they felt like they were the number 1 seed, and this would be would be a 48-minute interruption on their way to the Dome, or at least the semifinals. But it didn't work out that way for them. So I'm really excited about the crowd that made that 4-hour one-way trip.
Huge crowd.
We had a pile of people there, and of course the band was outstanding. Cheerleaders were outstanding. It was a great atmosphere for the quarterfinals, and our kids really played tremendously. Defensively, we've been up and down defensively this year. You take Irwin, the last game of the regular season, we gave up 38 first downs, unheard of. We've gave up almost over 500 yards of offense. That right there is a really bad defense. No way about it. But this week it was incredible. We gave up 4 first downs.
That's
1 in the first half, and then 3 in the second half, and I think a couple of those were by way of penalty.
Yeah.
So I really think there was only 2 first downs we gave up as far as scrimmage plays, and the other 2 were given up through penalty. So 4 first downs. They ran the ball 43 times and had 103 yards, and then they threw the ball 5 times for a total of 0 yards, no completions. Didn't even come close to completing any. Our defense was really led by Lance Thompson. Lance Thompson has been leading our defense really since right around Irwin County earlier, about a month ago. Lance has 91 tackles on the year. The closest guy to him is just 57, I believe. So Lance is really tearing it up at inside linebacker, doing a great job there. Also, Tevis Dasher, is a smart football player. Tevis Dasher, a linebacker, is also doing a tremendous job. For us. He's a junior, and also another senior is Julian Roberts. Julian Roberts has got a pile of tackles, and you've seen him play anywhere from corner to free safety to outside linebacker, and almost a defensive end at times coming up on the line of scrimmage. So those guys, Lance Thompson, Tevis Dasher, and Julian Roberts, have really led our defense these last few weeks, and those guys are smart football players, great kids. And they're doing a great job. But like I told the players today during film is we've got 3 guys on defense right now we can count on. We need, for us to be successful on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to have to really step up this week. Offensively, we went out and pretty much looked like we did what we wanted. We were balanced. We were balanced in the idea that we were able to throw the ball when we wanted, and we were able to run the ball when we wanted. I know some comments were made about our offense not being physical or tough. Well, we ran the ball for 236 yards, and right at you, and they really never stopped our run game. And then when we felt like we wanted to, or whenever, really, I think we could have threw the ball a lot more and had a lot of success. Trey Harrington threw the ball for 134 yards, 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Curtis Nixon had 4 catches. He really kind of a little bit of a breakout right there for 75 yards. Julian Roberts, we haven't thrown him the ball much lately, but he had 2 catches. His first one was for a touchdown for 41 yards, and I think our leading pass receiver was targeted 4 or 5 times and had some big drops, but again, we were able to get Davron Reed the ball once for a touchdown on an 18-yard pass. And again, Trey Harrington has went for over 2,000 yards throwing the football, and Trey was also out this season for 2 or 3 games, and he still went for over 2,000 yards. Now, a big difference in us now and us a while back is we've got our running back. Drew Lee. Drew Lee has went for last week he went for 169 yards on two touchdowns, and I think he only ran the ball 14 times to get that yards. So that's a pretty good average. He's only played 5 games for us, and he's had a 956 yards in 9 games. So that's a pretty good average there. And then we've also had a change on the offensive line. Andrew Chesser has stepped in to start on the offensive line at last 2 weeks, and Andrew Chesser went from a good B-team guy to continually working hard in the weight room, working hard through B-team, and working hard through practice to where arguably he's one of the best offensive linemen we have now. Andrew, number 60, last week had a tremendous game, probably our most consistent offensive lineman last week, and against Commerce, him and Jamez Davis were just having a tremendous game on the offensive line. So with the addition of Andrew Lee back in pretty good form, still not in the kind of shape that we need him to be, or run the ball like I know he will in the future. Having him back, and then Andrew Chesser to the offensive line has really been a real spark for our offense. But again, when I talk about a balanced offense, I'm talking about the ability to throw it well whenever we want, and the ability to run it well whenever we want. So we were very balanced, not by yardage, but more by being able to throw it and catch it pretty much when we wanted. Defensively, they didn't really present a lot of problems for us.
There wasn't a whole lot of imagination on the offense.
Not a lot of imagination on either side of the ball. The special teams, I thought we did a really good job on special teams. We need to catch the punts a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, not let them hit the ground like we did. But again, really pleased with the whole week. Being Thanksgiving week, some teams get out of whack a little bit. But I felt like we were organized and we had a plan all week long to what we wanted to do, when we wanted to meet, and the time that we were together. We had a good plan of what we wanted to get accomplished during the Thanksgiving week. So everything went well. Focus was really, really good for us. And the trip over, 4 hours, which that's a breeze for us right now.
I'm telling you.
After that 13 hours on a bus a week before that. So 4 hours over, got out, played a great football game, got on the bus, came on back. Now we're in the state semifinals. Who would have thought that? After
3:30.
Halfway through the season, who would have thought that we'd be lining up to play for the state semifinals? So it's really been an amazing ride this year. It's been an amazing last couple of weeks for us.
It's been fun to watch the team grow. I mean, the first half of the season, you almost really can't look at the film of the first half with the team the way
you really can't. I think that really, to me, and the coaches were talking about this, really when things started to change for us was Irwin County. That week we had a really good week against preparing for Irwin County. We went out against Irwin County, made a lot of mistakes, but yet so did Irwin County. I know we'll talk about that in the next segment. But we played hard. We played really hard, and I think we played for each other a little bit more than we had all year long. The kids really started to come together as a team. It took a little time, but that night I really felt that we were playing for each other, playing really hard, played for a great 48 minutes, came up short, but I really think the kids were excited about playing the game and excited about the way they played together for each other. And that was a really big turning point for us. And then the open week, again, I mentioned back then, Open weeks, I don't like them. I don't like them, But we had a good one, though. We had a good open week. And then, again, Commerce, not knowing a lot about who they were as far as in their schedule. We had a lot of film on them. We had, I think, their last 5 games. Went up there, didn't know how that was going to work out. Again, incredible effort by our kids up there. And then again, riding over to Seminole, another incredible effort. So Charlton County football has been really good here the last few weeks. A lot of fun. These kids, these seniors, it goes back, like I told them before the game, I said, if we're successful tonight against Seminole, I think we have to come in and really thank these seniors for just being the kind of men of character and the kind of leaders that they provided for this football team. It's a senior class that has bought in. It's a senior class that really cares about one another. It's a group of kids that I think we talked about at senior night. I think they're all going to be high achievers in life. I think they're going to do a lot of really good things. It's a group that you really trust, and a group that really represents Charlton County football in the best of ways.
Coach, you talked about Tevis Dasher a little earlier. Just from an anecdotal thing with me, watching the game, doing the film over there, we were on the home side. Mm-hmm. Every time their quarterback would come over to the sideline, Tevis would shadow him.
That's right. We've done that. Now, we've done that in the past. We've always done that anytime we saw. Very seldom now. First of all, a lot of people don't huddle anymore. Okay, and they did. It reminded me. I thought we were playing football back in the early '90s with huddling and running plays in with the quarterback every time. Yeah. But we saw them do that on film, and I told Tevis and Curtis Nixon, I said, listen, as long as he crosses the line of scrimmage to our side of the ball, we can follow him all the way as long as we stay on the field. You can stand right next to him, you don't need to say anything or do anything like that. And so anyway, I told him, I said, go ahead and do it. You may not know their terminology, but yet you're going to make them have a difficult time communicating with one another. And, some people might say it's whatever you want to say about a little gamesmanship more than anything, but it's legal. You can go all the way over to their sideline, stand next to them, and listen to what they're talking about, as long as it's on your side of the ball. And so we've done that in the past. Actually, we're talking about today, we did it, it's been several years ago, and what happened was they had a bunch of their football players get the squirt bottles, and they'd squirt our players as we're over there standing trying to get listen to what was going on. But again, we've always done that in the past, and we saw the opportunity, so we did it. I know it was a lot of fun for the kids and a lot of fun for people to see.
It was fun for me to film.
And I know Coach Ingram over there probably got a little bit of a kick out of it because he proclaimed he knew Charlton County football real well, but he should have remembered that, because I'm sure we did it to him back in the early '90s whenever he had the quarterback over there on his side. But again, it was a lot of fun. Kids had fun doing it, and again, I don't look at it as anything but just a little bit of gamesmanship. And again, if you're going to get your plays in that way and you're on our side of the ball, we're going to run all the way over to your sidelines just to see if we can hear what's going on.
I don't know, obviously I couldn't hear the coaching staff down there. I know this doesn't have a lot to do with it other than what you say, gamesmanship.
Yeah.
But the fans around me, it was so driving them crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just a little thing like that.
I'm glad it was. But again, it's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal. You can go on over there and stand there if you want. Again, we signal in our defense, so our defense doesn't huddle either. So we had no reason to huddle on defense. So we just follow their quarterback all the way to their coach and listen to what he has to say. And talking to our guys, they said they were able to pick up few things and made things difficult, I know, for Coach Ingram and for for their players, but I guess nobody else they played thought of that. So I guess their fans never, again, what penalty would it be? It's not a penalty, so it's something we're going to do.
He wasn't offsides, and
that's right.
Everything was legal.
Exactly right.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a short break and come back and we'll dive into Irwin County.
Sure.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. Coach, we had some guys that have been back, obviously Drew from the broken arm earlier, and then Drake Gillis came back.
That's right. Drake is Drake's a special guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Drake is my guy. He's a great kid. I don't know. What do you want to say about Drake other than he's as good as it gets? We throw around a lot of things talking about how good kids are and this and that. Well, compared to Drake, Drake is as good as it gets. And all along, when he broke his leg at that time of the year, I kept wondering and thinking, and I know him and his family were too, is if we were able to play long enough, if we were just able to play long enough, could he make it back? And they threw a date out there. Dr. Smith threw a date out there, or weeks. It would be this much weeks. And I know he was looking at the calendar. He says, if there's some way we can make it to the quarterfinals, some way I think I can play. And he went straight from pretty much no activity to when he was cleared, I think on Wednesday or Thursday of this last week. He came straight out there, put his pads on, and he's ready to go. And I'm sitting there thinking, you can't play. He can't play this quick off of a broken leg. But he wasn't going to be denied. He was going to play, and we were able to get him out there, and he did some good things. And the only thing that's keeping him is just some conditioning, and he had a little hobble. Of course, there's some weakness in that leg, but I tell you, last Friday night at Seminole, a lot of really great things happened, and maybe none better than watching 43 Drake Gillis take the field after leading us and just sticking with it and not fading away. A lot of times kids will get hurt and they'll fade off. They'll just fade off from your team. But Drake stuck in there and he kept believing. And if nothing else, I knew when we beat Commerce up there, I talked to Drake and I said, you may be back. He goes, I'm back. I'm going to be back. So it was exciting to see him on the field. I know. Just seeing his family react on the field after the game, it was just one of those moments that I know they'll never forget. Yeah. And I know it was so important for Drake. That win was important for a lot of people, but nobody more than Drake Gillis. And I'm so happy for Drake right there.
It was an awesome game for him to come back on. It's also your 250th win, career win here at Charlton, or that overall?
This is the only place I've ever coached.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's Charlton County. It was, that right there, it was something I really didn't talk about early in the season. I thought, first of all, I didn't think we'd have 8 wins. I knew it was going to take 8 wins to get to 250, and I didn't think we'd get 8 wins, to be honest with you. and again, we got ready to play the so-called the number 1 team and all this. So I'm thinking, well, you're going to finish the year with 49, and so 249, which is something it's only I really thought about, and I really didn't talk to my wife or my family about it. But, when it was winding down, look like we were going to win, I'm sitting there thinking, that's a lot of games to coach, first of all, let alone win. And just talking to people, come to find out, as far as South Georgia, people always divide the state up in South Georgia, North Georgia. There's only been 2 other coaches that have more 250 wins that have coached their whole career in South Georgia.
Right.
And that was the 2 guys, Coach Hyder and Coach Bazemore at Valdosta. So it's really an honor that was just an honor to hear that type of thing. But looking back at it, the thing I think about is the great football players I've had, the great assistant coaches that I've had, and the great guys like Brian Hewling, who have been there through all of them, and Brian Hewling, our Booster Club president, and guys like W.D. Cruz, who started off the Booster Club before I got here. It used to be the Touchdown Club, I believe it was. And guys like W.D. Cruz has watched me coach every football game that I've coached in. Yeah. So, things like that come across. And then, of course, my administration, guys like Dr. Howard, Josh Howard, who played for me, now my principal, Dr. Laracy, who was a young band director when I got here, and somebody that I let him know first day I was here. I said, listen, I'm on your side. It ain't any of this band director, football coach stuff going on. I go, I appreciate what you do, and I'm on your side, and that's been a great relationship since then. So I think about the relationships with kids, the coaches I've had, the administrators I have, and to do it all in one place, that's been special to me. That's special. I see a lot of coaches will bounce around, move around, and although we've had opportunities, I really feel that it's special to do it at one place all these years. And again, I couldn't help but think of all the former players and coaches I've had that have made this happen more than me, more than anything I've done. So that was really special for me. And I know after the game, my wife and I talked about it, and that was special to us that we were able to get there. And I'd love to, before I'm done, maybe hit 300 one day. If we can keep having good players come along, maybe we'll get 300.
Hopefully we'll be around to film that.
Hopefully I'm around. Hopefully I'm still kicking too and still coaching for that to happen.
Well, I know obviously with the state titles are huge memories for you. Is there one ball game that just stands out that is your favorite, or is it all those state titles?
Well, I think the two games that really stick out to me possibly would be the 1999 state championship game. You talk about monkey off your back. I mean, we were good the years before that. We'd played for one in 1990. I knew there was a lot of great football coaches, great high school football coaches that never had an opportunity to make it to a state championship game.
Right.
I made it my first year out, and I thought, well, maybe this was my one and only shot. Then we got back in 99. I felt I felt some internal pressure to try to get this thing done, to try to get one, because so many coaches have never had one. And then in 2004, to go back to Lincoln, to go back to Buford. I think we lost the state championship year before in Buford. 2004. Go back to Buford with a sophomore quarterback, basically a sophomore football team, and for us to stand there and watch that clock wind down, that was really special. You couldn't. It didn't feel like we were in Buford. It felt like when those folks left the stands, it felt like we were at home with everybody. But there's been a lot of special games, a lot of tough losses now. I think 50. 53, 56, 57, 58, something like that, tough losses. I can probably tell you more about a lot of those losses than I can about a lot of these wins. But again, the memories are about the relationships. The memories are about the players that got this thing done, and the assistant coaches I've had. That's the really the memories come in.
I know when I come in here, sometimes we're waiting on one another or whatever, and I'll look at that wall. The guys that are on that wall, it's just unreal.
And the guys who aren't on that wall.
Yeah.
The guys who are just great high school football players. Those are guys that I think about. Yeah, those guys are awful special, and we wouldn't have won all those games without those folks. But there's a lot of great high school football players that bought into the program, lifted the weights, did the running, did everything, knowing that they weren't going to play college football. I mean, if you're a guy that you know that you have a scholarship waiting for you at the end of the day, there's a lot of motivation right there to do well in the weight room. But how about those guys who know right away, I'm not big enough, fast enough to go to college,
and they keep doing it.
But they do it anyway, and those are the guys that really get the job done. I can sit here and I think about a lot of those guys. Coach Marie and I talked about the 2004 offensive line, about how not saying too negative, but as far as just pure athletic talent, didn't have a lot of it. But desire, heart, effort, dedication, they had more than anybody. And those are the guys I remember also, and those are the guys that really got it done right there.
All right. Well, Coach, congratulations on the 250th win. And we'll be right back on the Coach Mack Show.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. We're headed to the semifinals, Coach, with a familiar opponent, region opponent, Irwin County.
That's right, Irwin County. We played last week of the season. They're a team that really have run through their schedule. They've only had 2 bumps in the schedule, and the first one was they tied Fitzgerald in a big rivalry game, and then later in the year they were up, I believe, 21-0, possibly 17-0, 21-0 to Clinch County, and the wheels kind of came off, which can happen sometimes, especially in high school football, where things things will go bad and just kind of compounds on top of that and just keeps rolling. And Clinch was able to come back, a very good Clinch team, which we saw, was able to come back and beat them. But between that and since then, they've been really rolling against us. Looking at the film, we talked about our mistakes against them the first time we played them, but I think that they didn't play the best of football either. I think they made some mistakes also. It was just kind of a mistake-filled game on both sides. They have, first of all, Coach Lindsey is a tremendous coach. He's got a great staff, and Irwin County does it right, from facilities to just providing their football program the things that they need from their the leadership, their administration, and so forth. They've got a great situation over there, really good, and they've got some really outstanding football players. They've got some kids that we've been watching the last couple of years play football, and they have a great scheme in the wing tee that they run, the things that they do. It's extremely,
they do a good job with that wing tee.
Extremely well coached. Some of the best coached offense I've seen and executed. Their players play it very, very smart. Again, you break them down, and it's kind of like us. It's like most high school teams. You don't do a whole bunch, but what you do is you'll put a little window dressing on it, change the way it looks sometimes with formations and different things, but still it's going to be the same thing. You've got to stop the fullback. Number 7 is the best football player in our region, probably him, and probably the next best football player in our region is their number 15.
Yeah.
Both those guys are great football players. Both of them are going to be college football players, and from what I've seen and what I've gathered, they're good character, good kids, really good kids over there. But we've got to somehow defensively play better. We've got to get to the point of attack, whether it's the fullback, whether it's the sweep with 15 or number 1 or they number 4 had some good runs against us, and number 32 are going. They are 2 and 3 deep at the wings and fullback position. You know, we talked about we had to throw the ball every down because we didn't have a running back. We had one running back, and that was Andrew Lee. We had to wait till halfway through the season to get him back. And those guys are 2 and 3 deep at that position. And we talk about 15 and 7 and so forth, and 4 and 10 and 32 and 12, all those running backs. But again, that offensive line is massive.
Yeah.
Those guys are huge, and they are good. Whoever coaches the offensive line over there at Irwin County does a great job. I know Coach Murray does do a great job and has done a great job for me in offensive line.
Right.
Your offensive line coach is so valuable, and Coach Murray is just incredibly valuable to me and our program and in our football team, just like whoever's doing that offensive line over there does a great job with that group. Defensively, 2 of the best defensive players in our region, again, number 7, goes both ways. Again, a kid who's going to play college football somewhere, one side of the football. And then number 55, defensive lineman. This kid has a motor. He's strong and just does a great job. First time we played him, my whole idea was, let's play a great 48 minutes and let's try to compete with them and so forth. And that really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
They are a powerful football team. They're a team that can make things bad in a hurry. We can go over there, and next thing you know, we're going to be down 21-28 nothing before we even go in for halftime. They're that good. But again, we want our kids all week long. We're emphasizing, just don't get caught up in the moment of what this game means. And I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to focus in on your responsibilities, focus in on your job, focus in on your technique that we've been teaching you all year long. Focus in on improving your play from the last time we played them. I thought we can go over there and play great and still get beat soundly. They were that good. Without a doubt, I felt like they were the best football team in single A going into it, and I still think they probably are the best football team in single A. Again, we just want to go over, compete still we've had a great run. I just told our kids how fortunate we are to maintain still be a team going into the playoffs at a number 9 seed, advancing, getting another week together, and then again having a great experience in Seminole County, advancing to another week. It's been a lot of fun, and of course we would love to go another week, but again we realize that we're going to have to play really, really well and to have a chance to advance. This is no gimme. People say, well, you're playing so good right now. we're playing good, but I'll tell you, I don't know how good the people we played are. I really don't know how good Seminole was. I don't know how good, and I hate to offend anybody, but how good Seminole was or how good Commerce was. I think our region was very tough. I think our region is really good.
Well, the semifinal game speaks for our region. We got Irwin and Charlton right there.
And including the best team, one of the best teams may be at home. The second best team, other than Irwin being the best, and Clinch may be the second best. And again, you get in these big games, the wheels can come off, so to speak. Everything you do is not working, and you're making a lot of mistakes, putting the ball on the ground. I know, talking to Clinch, they've had trouble with the quarterback-center exchange. I mean, you're looking at the 11th, 12th game of the season, and you're struggling with the quarterback-center exchange, and that's the stuff that you were doing the first day. It can happen. That can happen, and it just does. And then Region 3 with Marion, who we saw last year. We got beat soundly by Marion, and Hawkinsville, who upset Marion. Marion's only loss, I believe. You have that going on. So Region 3, good football, obviously. Region 2, really good football. And it's probably only fitting that whoever survives this region is going to play whoever survives that up there. But again, back to Irwin County, a lot of skill, a lot of speed, a lot of size on the line of scrimmage. Excellent coaching, great fan base they have. A lot of it's going to be an exciting atmosphere. The place is going to be filled. You always tell coaches always talk. It's a big game when the corners are filled, and that means you look at a stadium and the corners are filled up with people. I mean, you look at some games, you look in the stadium, the middle of it's always full. The corners are going to be the last thing that fills up. The corners will be filled up in this one. I really believe that. But I ain't taking anything away from our fans. I think we're going to have a lot of people that are going to show up and support the Indians, our Indians, Charlton County Indians. And again, I tell you, the excitement of last week goes back to for me where I have a lot of fun about last week is seeing our kids just get on a roll and feed off each other and have the enthusiasm, but also just seeing the people of Charlton County, which I care so much for, and I've lived here now 27 years, I guess I have, and seeing all these people I've known for such a long time in the stands, really enjoying it, really into it, and having, believing in these kids, and then seeing, Mr. Hersey does an incredible job with the band. I think I'm a big fan of our band. I think they do an incredible job.
Band was getting an ovation.
They were getting. I'm sure everywhere they go, they're undefeated. Nobody we play has a band like ours. I know that without a doubt they're undefeated. But just to see those kids and everybody get excited for what's going on in front of them, and that's a lot of fun. And of course, my daughter, she's a senior cheerleader, Darby, and she's having a lot of fun. They're all just getting excited about this thing, and that's the way it should be. We would love for this thing to go another week, go to the big stage in Atlanta, but again, the thing about the realistic part of it is Irwin County is a great football team, great program, very well coached. We're going to have to play above and beyond what we've played yet this year to play with those guys. So again, we're going to show up and we're going to have a good time and play some football, and hopefully the fans will get into it. I know the band will get into it and the cheerleaders will get into it, and hopefully this isn't it. But again, with the opponent we have in front of us, it's going to be tough, and I realize that. But again, I ain't taking anything away from our kids. They've had a great year, done some good things, bounced back from that 5-6 team we had a year ago to now we're 8-4, in the state semifinals.
Still going.
Who'd ever think, who'd ever thought we'd make it this far? So excited for Friday night. Wish it was here now. At this point in time, you're not practicing very long because it's just the same things you've been doing on both sides of the football, and now especially you've got an opponent that you're familiar with. You've seen twice in the last year. I mean, you've seen them at the end of last season, and now you've seen them already this season. So there's some real familiarity with Irwin County, and with that familiarity comes we know they're good. We know they're real good. So we're going to have to play great, and I think our kids will have fun, and they'll play at a very high level.
Do you expect? I know we just played them 4 weeks ago.
Yep, 4 weeks ago.
Do you
3 games.
expect them to throw anything new at you, or do you think it's going to be?
I don't think
basic
so. I don't think so. We've got their film from the last 2 weeks. We've looked at it, and we've got their film with us. Yeah. We've got their film from all the way back early in the year. say they've played this will be their 12th game, I believe it is, or played 12 games. We've got nearly all their film, with the exception of the first few, and you don't want to see that. They are who they are, and like we are who we are.
Right.
You know, we're going to throw it around. We're going to run the running back and mix things up with some formation and some different kinds of routes. I think if anyone's different from 4 weeks ago, it's probably us.
Yeah.
We've changed some things last few weeks. We put up a pile of points in the last few weeks. Over 70 points in the last 2 games?
Yeah, 70,
I believe over 70 points in the last 2 games. So offensively, we're doing some things differently than we've done early in the year, and the kids are excited. The staff's excited about what we're doing, and they believe in it. You know, the kids are believing in it, and they look at it as their offense. A lot of people have a chance to make plays in our offense. So if anybody's changed, it's us. I think Irwin County, they got a great fullback. They're going to give it to him. They've got a great offensive line. They're going to let those guys get to work, and they've got a pile of great wing backs, especially number 15, who will be starting for Georgia Southern probably in a year or so. I think that's where he's committed to.
As a Gator fan, Coach, I don't want to hear that now.
I'm sorry about talking about that. But they've got a lot of talent over there, and Coach Lindsey's one of the best high school football coaches right now in the state. So I think that they're going to be hard to deal with. But again, I look forward to it because I know our kids are going to play with enthusiasm, and I know they're going to give a great effort. I know they're going to play hard, and I know they're not going to give up or quit. And I look forward to seeing them play, hopefully again, and maybe even some more. Who knows? You know, the way things are going for us.
All right. Coach, real quick, 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock kickoff.
Start Friday night?
GHSA switched the time to 8 o'clock. I know we're going to have a big crowd over, and if they're not over there, I hope they're tuning in with you guys and following it that way. But it's going to be an 8 o'clock kickoff, and again, it's the problem in this thing is going to be is that it's such a short bus ride for us. You know,
It's like a home game.
It's like a home game. I think it's only two and a half hours. So I think we're going to take the long way around because I don't know if we could stand only being on a bus for 2.5 hours.
Go to Irwin by way of Savannah?
I think we might. We're going to take the long way, get lost or something because only being on the bus for 2.5 hours, it might throw us off our game. I think that we're used to being on that thing for, a lot longer than that.
Yeah. I was talking to some of businesses downtown today, and that was a common theme was how well we travel. How well the team performs on the road.
Yeah, well, it's just, I think a lot of it has to focus. When you get on a bus, you're just going to go play football.
Yeah.
You know, we get on school buses. I don't care where we go. You know, we've been all over this state, and it's on school buses, and it's a business trip. Again, I think that our coaching staff, we're well organized. We've got everything ready to go. We can pack, and it only takes us about 10 minutes to load everything up we need and get out of here. It don't take long. But again, I think it comes back to focus. We're just there. We're not worried about it. And I'm not saying our kids are distracted at home, and I'm not saying that, but sometimes when you're at home, you have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
I know being on a bus is somewhat downtime, but still, you're at home. It seems like such a long day.
Yeah.
When you get here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're here all the way until 7:30 kickoff. It's a long day of just being here.
It up.
And exactly. So I think our kids get on the bus. They realize it's a business trip. They focus. And like I told our kids, we've had our biggest wins without a doubt on the road.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of it right there.
All right, 8 o'clock Friday night, Irwin County. $15 tickets?
I believe it is.
15?
GHSA controls that. We don't, so
Yeah.
don't be getting on Coach Cruz or anybody like that. The GHSA handles that. That's theirs, how they do it. But again, it's I think it's going to be a great $15. I think. If nothing else, it's
gonna be a good one.
just watching our bands worth $15 sometimes right now. So if nothing else, come yell at me and help me coach a little bit, and then watch the band. And that right there ought to be worth the price of admission.
There you go, Coach. All right, well, we'll fill the corners on the Charlton side Friday night.
I know we will.
All right, we'll see y'all Friday night in Irwin County.